Hey. Hi guys. Okay, right on time. There goes the timer. So, happy Monday. One more week. One more week and I'll see you in person. How about that? I'm pretty excited about that actually. So, shall we? Let's begin. I'm also ready to work out because I have only had a light breakfast and it's lunchtime here and I'm hungry. So, as soon as we're done, I'm going to go have lunch. Ah, you know me, motivated by food. So I hope you all had a nice weekend, nice, uneventful, cooler maybe, cooler than it has been. I don't know. Look left and right. It's the same weather here all the time. Spring-like, pleasant, wildly variable, but within a very narrow range of temperatures. Fascinating weather-wise. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do the reach. So, what are we going to talk about today? I got nothing. I miss you guys because on the days that I'm tired, you guys can usually carry the load and somebody will have a joke to tell and I can just sit here and do the exercises. But today, I don't know what we'll talk about. We'll think of something. Here we go. Elbows together, open and close. Maybe we'll just exercise. I suppose we could do that. So stretching, loosening up, warming up. Good. And circles down low. By the way, don't forget to thank Joe and Michaela for hooking you guys up with this. It's it's awfully nice of them to figure out how to accommodate my freaky schedule and still get to see you and do some work. I'm switching directions. Good. That one's a little crunchy today. Side bend. Big reach and bend. Oh, that feels good. Excellent. Let's see. Did I start this direction? I think I did. So we'll end that way and go to cat cow next. Nice long spine. Arch one way and arch the other way. Beautiful. We did a ton of walking this weekend. There's something about being in a town with four rivers. There's there's four rivers in town, but there's two of them that you see regularly in the main parts of the city. I'm doing my little twist. But there's either paved or packed dirt trails along both sides of most of the length of both of the rivers that we're familiar with. And it's just so enchanting to walk along the side of the river and listen to the noise it makes. It's just such a beautiful sound. It's always good to get out into nature, but it's really good when nature is just like right there. and and 2 blocks away you can get there and just feel like you're in a whole different world. All right, I've got toes out ahead of my knees and I'm picking up my toes, sitting up tall. Good. Then slide your heels under and pick up your heels. Ooh, that feels good today. The other thing that's just so cool here is the plant life. Uh, Again, because it's got this moderate climate year round, plants that only survive as house plants in the US are wild here. They're just, growing outside on people's patios or out on the street, in people's yards. I'm doing the ankle circles. And the flowers and the flowering trees are in colors you've never imagined before. But I think what's really cool, I'm switching directions, is the incredible variety of succulents. Everybody loves cute little succulents in their little pots. But I'm telling you, I have seen plants here like nothing I've seen before. I've seen succulents with like leaves shaped like the head of a cabbage, just huge, and different colors, different colored tips at the end, and succulents that flower in the wild here, and just a huge variety of shapes and sizes and colors, unlike anything you can see even in the Home Depot Garden Center when they have a succulent sale. And they're just out, in people's yards. Very cool. Or in the shopping districts, they always have very nice landscaping. I'm straightening and bending. There's this one place we go to over a block or so that way that's got we call it Cherry Creek because it's kind of got that fancy shopping district vibe to it, very modern. But there's an incredible succulent garden next to one of the restaurants. Just so cool to see. Good. Not sure how many that is. Feels like enough. Switching legs. Don't forget, brace your core. Ah. And that feels like enough too. So switching back to the first leg, I'm going to swing out and back. Trying to sit up nice and tall. Can't tell you how many times in the last month I have said that to my dad. Sit up tall. I'm like a broken record. Good. Switching legs. Good. That is 12. All right. Let's go to a kick and a punch. Opposite arm and opposite leg. Kick and punch. Don't forget, sit up tall. Think about lengthening your spine as you sit. Imagine somebody grabbing you by the hair, pulling you taller. Good. I'm sure that's enough. I'm going right into jumping jacks. So sitting on the edge, legs out, arms up. Hold tight with your belly. Cross down here if you prefer. Do one leg at a time if you prefer. That's a little bit safer if you're tipping out of your chair. Excellent. That's enough, right? I think so. I think that's enough of that. All right. Where to next? Let's grab your weights if you're using them, and we'll do a full slate of weighted work. I think let's begin with our grip, with our forearms. So forearms resting on your thighs, wrists right at the edge of your knees, palms down. I'm going to keep my forearms pinned to my thighs and just bend at the wrist. Trying to get as big a range of motion as I can. It's easy to do without weights, not so easy with weights. I need to work on this a little bit more. I think my wrists are tightening up. Good, that's probably pretty close to 12. I'm going to go palms up, same position, bend down, bend up. I'm keeping the forearms still. They're just attached to my thighs. And I'm taking the wrist through as big a range of motion as I can get. And that feels like enough, probably more than enough. So let's come into, let's do the alternating hammer, curl, and press. So sit up tall, shoulders relaxed down, thumb to shoulder, press straight up, thumb to shoulder. The other hand meets you at the shoulder. One up, one down. So I'm curling, pressing. And I'm trying to think about keeping the elbows in kind of close, especially on the press. I don't want to do a big drift out to the side. Good. And you don't have to press all the way up. If your shoulder says stop there, then that's a good place to stop. Good. And you know, I never have any idea how many we're doing of this one because it's much too complicated to count. So I'm going to say one more on each side, and that should be enough. Good. Okay. Let's sit up tall again and do a side raise. So relax your shoulders down and then pull out away from you and back down. And you can experiment with the angle, right? It doesn't have to be directly out from your shoulders. It can be a few degrees forward. Your shoulders will generally have a preferred position where it feels better. And it's never supposed to hurt. And if you start feeling like you're straining, then you should do the last few with no weights. And again, I have no idea. Are we there yet? We're getting close. We'll call that good. Right on. Okay, relax that, give it a wiggle. I think I'm going to go palms up, elbows bent. And let's do a push, a pull, and a rotate. So I'm doing this slower than usual because I want to make sure I'm lined up just shoulder high, pull back, and then I'm keeping my elbows in close. I really want to feel that rotation across the back of the shoulders. And I want to make sure that I'm not letting the elbows drift out, right? Keep those elbows in and focus on the twist. Your range of motion may look more like this, right? You may not get all the way open. That's okay. That's why we're doing it. I think that's at least 4, maybe 5. Good. I'm giving it a good squeeze at the back. And that's 11 or 12. Let's just do one more for good measure. Excellent. Okay. Um, Not everybody will be able to do this move. If you can't do this move, if your shoulders don't like it, you will do the palms back and lift. If you're game and you have really good shoulder mobility, you can bring one weight overhead and bend the elbow so the weight goes behind your head. So that looks sort of like this from the side view. And I'm trying to keep that elbow close to my head. It really wants to do this drift out to the side, right? So I'm trying to keep it in close. And since I'm only doing one arm at a time, you're probably getting well and truly tired by now. And I think I'm going to call that good. I'm tired and I don't even have a weight in my hand. Other side, bend and straighten. If you have trouble clearing your head, if you have to really jut your head forward, then you should probably be doing the other version, right? We'll keep working on shoulder range of motion and all the things. But there's no need to risk bonking yourself in the head. And again, not counting, but starting to feel it. So let's call that good. Both weights in one hand if you can, or just one weight. And I'm folding forward over my lap, letting that arm hang down, but I'm going to anchor that shoulder. So tuck the shoulder blade into the back pocket and drive the elbow up and back. I keep pushing the shoulder blade down toward my belt. That helps me really engage the muscles that wrap around the side of the back. It also helps to lower slowly. So when you go to release the weight, put the brakes on so that you can control it in both directions. I don't know, how many is that? Getting close. We'll call that good. Switch sides. So again, square up your shoulders, anchor the shoulder blade, and drive the elbow up and back. I'm trying to keep a nice neutral spine the whole time, which is one of the reasons I'm not spending the whole time looking up at you, because that's uncomfortable on the neck. I'm trying to keep the head just lined up with the spine. So I'm looking at the floor a few inches in front of my feet. And again, we must be getting close. I'm going to call this the last one. And let's come up to standing, right? Yeah, gosh, we're running out of time already. So put your weights down, come up to standing, come behind or beside your chair. And I think I'm going to start by coming up on my toes. So feet hip width apart, parallel to one another, toes straight ahead. And then I'm coming up on toes and back down. That's 10, 11, and I'm going to hold on number 12. Hold at the top. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep the heels up off the floor as high as your toes will allow. And then come all the way back down. Yeah. Okay. Wiggle that loose. And then I'm going right into a side step. Step and tap. Step and tap. Stand up nice and tall for this one. Take as big a step as is comfortable, right? So that may be a smaller step. That's fine. Or a great big step. Whatever you have space for and whatever you can do without feeling like you're going to fall over. And then I'm going to add a punch. And don't worry about which arm and which leg are moving, because this one is unlikely to make you fall over. Wednesday is balance day. I have thoughts. I have thoughts for balance day. We've been doing a lot of work with my dad on balance. It's a tricky subject. All right, wide stance with your feet and big backstroke and a reach. Oh, that feels good. That always feels good. Very nice. Now keep that wide stance with your feet, hands in front of your shoulders. I'm going to push out and pull back. Push out, stretch across your back, pull in, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Don't forget to reach out with your fingers. Good. All right, that's enough of that. Hang on to your chair. Stand up nice and tall. Pull one toe back behind you. Scoop your tail under. Kick yourself in the rear. Bring that heel as far up as it will go, and then try to control it going down. And try not to let the knee drift forward like that. It's harder this way, of course. I'm calling that 6. Close enough. 10, 11, and 12. Switching legs. Toe back, tail under, tall, and bend. 6, 10, 11, and 12. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see. Where shall we go next? Let's just do a funky little dance. I know, jump rope. So jump in place. I'm not really jumping, right? Just my heels are coming off the floor. You know how to do this. Huh. I am, though, trying to kind of drop my heel to the floor. So thud, thud, thud. Just get a little percussion at the heel. It's good for your bones to get that little bit of percussive beat. I'm going to switch the rope to backwards. It may be good for your lymphatic system to get jostled like that. So to help get fluid draining out of your extremities. Beautiful. That's enough, right? That's enough of the hard work. Let's start stretching. Big step back, back heel to the floor. Deep breath. Relax, relax. Easier said than done. I know. Ooh, especially in this position. This is one of the stretches that when I do it, I never feel the stretch actually relax. I never feel the muscle completely relax. It still just always feels tight. Maybe ever so slightly less tight after 20 or 30 seconds. Switching legs. Back heel to the floor. Yeah, this side is not as tight as the other side. And then hang on to your chair. Walk backwards, pull the hips even farther back than your feet. Flatten out. I'm trying to keep the spine long, trying not to arch and round. Reaching the sit bones to the wall behind me. That is a good stretch. I like that little side to side shimmy for the extra stretch down the side. And then bend your knees, tuck your hips back under, and come up and back around to the front of your chair for seated stretches. Okay. Let's start with the hamstrings. One leg out straight in front. You're sitting right on the edge of your chair. Some of you will be happy to just sit with your pelvis upright. That'll be enough stretch, but if you want more, tilt the pelvis forward. Oh, this is clever. See, I'm wearing a belt today. I never wear a belt when you guys see me. When I'm upright, my belt buckle points forward. When I tilt my pelvis, see how it points at the floor or at my foot? That's what we want. We want the whole pelvis to tilt as opposed to just collapsing the spine. See? Mind your belt buckle. Oh. Nice. Now see that one? I feel relaxed. I'm switching legs. I can actually feel the minute the muscle kind of releases and lets go. It stops fighting me. Deep breath. Excellent. And then hip stretch. One foot up on the opposite knee. Give it a wiggle. Feel free to adjust your position here so that your hip feels good, that you get a stretch where you want it. I'm going to fold forward. And that feels good. Good. Switching to the other side. That side's a little tight today. We've been doing a lot of walking. And anytime you do a lot of walking, it's such a repetitive motion. You can really feel, oh, I'm right-sided. That right side is working hard. Good. Coming back up, untangling. Wide stance with your feet. Big reach overhead. And side bend. Oh. Good. Tall again in the middle and big swan dive. Think about lengthening your spine as you fold forward, opening up space between each vertebra. Oh, that feels good. Big breath down at the bottom. And then use your hands on your knees for support. Brace your belly. Come back up. Yay! You did it. You did it again. And in just the amount of time that we were in our session, the day went from completely overcast to, oh, well, it's overcast, but man, the sun is bright, isn't it? And there's all the traffic. It's such beautiful light, even through the clouds. I don't know, I tell you what. And there's that river singing its pretty little song. So that's not even a block away from us. So it's really easy to get to the river and get a little Mother Nature infusion. So there you have it. There's your your almost daily dose of Cuenca. And look, just standing in the window, my sunglasses turned on. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll do some other kind of nonsense together then, and I'll see you a week in person a week from today. Woohoo! Bye.